Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, and indeed this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including the weekend's box office report for The Flash. The Flash box office. Oh, it's not good, man. Actually, it's not good for Elemental either. It's not shaping up well for the summer box office results. We'll talk about that, but we got some other things to talk about, like the Secret Invasion opens up this week on Disney Plus. We'll be watching that. The Flash apparently did have some multiple endings that we'll talk about. We got a new Rebel Moon poster to take a look at, and hey, this brought a smile to my face. FUBAR has been greenlit for a season 2 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, we watched that on Netflix. But we start off today's show by talking about Extraction 2. Extraction 2 debuted on Friday on Netflix, and we did a full live watch along on the channel. And Extraction 2 had an amazing 21-minute one-shot sequence, which I don't know if it was exactly 21 minutes. It was one of those sneaky things where once they passed a door frame or something, that's where the cut is. I saw you. But let's set up, and I'll do my quick review here for Extraction 2. That'll just cut out and put up on the channel later on. It's not going to be a long review because my full watch along is up on the channel right now. So, Bifer there in the live chat says, hey, how's it going? Happy Monday, June 19th. Let's get into some Extraction 2 reviews. Yes. Are we ready? Let's just make sure that my Rotten Tomatoes is cropped and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, I'll reset the music. Extraction 2 is on Netflix, guys, and it came out on the weekend. Did you go and watch it? Oh, let me rephrase that one. Extraction 2 is on Netflix right now, guys, and did you go see it? Hey, I managed to do a full live watch along, and it was pretty awesome, man. Chris Hemsworth delivers the action. Actually, I think it's even better than the first movie. Yeah, we had so much fun with this. It boasts a 21-minute action sequence that was fairly impressive. Like, I mean, the action in this is the standout for sure. The choreography, the brutality of some of the bone crunching and the knife stabbing and the gun shooting, and it was just like, wow, man, that was an awesome film. And that's what you're going to feel like when you finish watching Extraction 2, or even like midway through, you'll be like, this is moving fast. And Chris Hemsworth, he brings it, man. Extraction 2 is slowly turning into a franchise that I would equate, not quite on the same level, but it's getting there to like a John Wick. Yeah, I said it right there. The synopsis reads, after barely surviving his grievous wounds from his mission in Dhaka, Tyler Rake is back and his team is ready to take on their next mission. So, yeah, Extraction 2, I would tell you, it's one of those movies where you don't really need to see the first one because they do like a small recap at the beginning of it that gives you kind of a clue as to what happened at the end of the first one. So if you didn't watch that one, I think you won't have any problems following along with this one. But I saw the first one, so I was actually looking forward to this. And yeah, it's got some really good acting in it, surprisingly. And I'm not seeing a cameo in here who's not being listed in the IMDb, but when he showed up as a cameo in this, I was pleasantly surprised, for sure. And Extraction 2, in my opinion, delivers. It's got an emotional backbone story there about his, the loss of his family. He's very Mad Maxian, actually, to tell you the truth, right? But his ex-wife is still alive, but the kid is gone, right? So it's kind of like a little bit like that, but he's dealing with like another scenario where he's got to go help somebody, right? And that's pretty much what it is. And it moves pretty fast. And the cool thing about this is that bad guys are in this. They're bad guys. They're not the reluctant bad guy that kind of like, well, I'm doing it because I have to. I need to save my kid, or, I need to make sure that people of my country will be liberated. And it's not like that. It's kind of like, no, these guys are bad guys. They're bad dudes, and they do a good job of establishing that in the beginning of the movie, which I really appreciate. So, as I said, I really liked Extraction 2. It's totally worthwhile checking out on Netflix if you got it. It's a quick 2 hours and 3 minutes. It's like actually under that. It's like an hour and 50 minutes or something like that. But it's totally worthwhile. For that action sequences, it's just cool. And it does have some heart. It does. Let's take a look at the tomato meter here. 75% by the critics and 89% by the audience. So the audiences are liking it just a bit more than the critics. But I'm happy to see that the critics are, looking at it with favorable light. It's not suffering the same fate as, say, an Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So, that's good. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews and see if we agree with them. Richard Roper from the Chicago Sun-Times says that it's a lot for an anti-hero to handle. Oh yeah, we read this one on our watch log. That one doesn't make sense. He's not an anti-hero, so we won't use that one. RogerEbert.com says, you might appreciate the serious attempts to anchor military-adjacent shoot-'em-up adventures in something like reality and give it all its major character situations to play that are a step above the standard action film tropes. Yeah. Well, actually, what I got out of it too was if you're a big fan of like Metal Gear Solid and Rainbow Six, that kind of stuff, that like sneaking around and taking people out, that you got a couple of really cool sequences in this movie where like you get that happening. Where I was like, yeah, where is the Metal Gear Solid movie? Where is that stuff? Because he's like sneaking around, taking people out, and it's like that's awesome, man. And Hemsworth totally can carry this kind of movie. Olga Kurylenko there is his ex-wife, but his relationship with his team here is also really good, and it pays off when the action's going down, because you believe that they've got that solid trust with each other that if something bad happens to one of them or if they get injured, you're like, right? And they don't do a lot of explaining the backstory of it. They just do a good job acting wise, that you buy it, you buy their chemistry and their relationship, that they actually care for each other as teammates. You buy that right away. Because they had the first film to work with too, I guess. But there's the main bad guy. So I think the 21-minute sequence starts when they're breaking, he's extracting them out of the prison. So it does earn its moniker Extraction in that sense. And then it moves on to the train. And that train sequence, man, a couple times, I was just like, wow. I implore you. I'll leave a link to my full reaction and watch along up in the cards here for you guys. I just had a lot of fun with it. It was a very pleasant surprise for me. I was blown away by it. I don't think I can be as high as the fans that gave it an 89, but I'm actually going to give it higher than the critics, than the 75%. I would give Extraction 2 an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it was good, and I am really looking forward to the third one, man. I really hope they make a third movie, because it's totally worthwhile, and Hemsworth deserves your attentions out there, guys. If you got Netflix, check it out. It's totally worthwhile in my books. Let me know what you guys thought about it if you saw it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right. That was fun. Let's get back into some headlines here. And it's a doozy. We got to talk about that Flash box office result. And it's not looking, it wasn't good, man. Yeah, I'll tell you this, though. I saw the Flash, I saw Elemental, and I saw Extraction 2 on the weekend. And all three films, they delivered. They were good. Really good. Out of the three, Extraction 2 is so good. I think Extraction 2, no, there's so much nostalgia in the Flash, though. I would probably have to say Flash, Extraction 2, and then Elemental. Although Elemental is also so really good, man. I just Extraction 2, yeah. Yeah. Extraction 2 is the easier one to digest. There you go. Okay. So, guys, it's Monday. Let's talk about the weekend's box office report. Indeed, it is Monday, and it's time to take a look at the numbers as to where The Flash and Elemental came in. So, we're going to take a look at the China box office results for The Flash. Because it got approval to open up over there, so did Elemental, and apparently it didn't do so well over there, so that's not good. The Flash opened in first place with 13.8, and Elemental debuted with 5.3 in the Chinese box office. That's not good. That's not good. So let's go over to the Box Office Mojo and take a look at the top 5 for the weekend of June 16th to the 18th, 2023. The top 5 read as: number 1 was The Flash, number 2 was Elemental, number 3 was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, number 4 was Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and number 5 was The Little Mermaid. Some notes here that Transformers debuted number 1 last week and dropped all the way down to the 4th spot with 20 million this week, with a 67% drop. That's not good. So Spider-Man bested it. I thought that Transformers. No, didn't I say last week that perhaps those two could change, like in a long shot? But look, Spider-Man held on to the 3rd spot there with 27.8, so it made 7.8 million more than Transformers this weekend, which sucks because Transformers Rise of the Beast was fun. It was a fun movie. It wasn't a movie where you came out and you were like, ugh, this is terrible. No, it's not like that. Spider-Man hanging in there, it's not a big surprise. But it bums me out that Transformers fell down that low. Little Mermaid going down to the 5th spot, that's fine. Blackening was the other new movie that opened up this week, but it was only in about half the theaters, right? 1,700 there. And Asteroid City had a limited release in 6. So Asteroid City, I guess it opens up wider this week. That's that Wes Anderson film, but I guess that's a big standard for it, right? Right? Wes Anderson's Asteroid City rocks strongest limited opening in years with new high for focus features. So basically, it's kind of like an artsy film, art house film, where a bunch of weird people go out to look at a meteorite crashing, and then they get quarantined by the government in Asteroid City. They're quirky, beatnik type people, I suppose. James, that's awful. Let's see, because there's nothing. John says because there is nothing good out artistically or that makes you think for adults. The last good movie I saw somewhere in Queens. Everything out right now is popcorn commercial fare, and it's boring and redundant. Oppenheimer can't be coming soon enough. Well, I would say then, yeah. Well, you're going to get 2 this coming week with Asteroid City and No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. Excited to see this. Too bad it was a mess with zero story. Visually interesting, though. Well, Wes Anderson's known for his storytelling, but yeah, I guess that's a big haul for the weekend box office for Asteroid City. 790,000 only in 6 theaters. Yeah, only in 6 theaters it made that much. That's pretty good. The Blackening, let's just get this one out of the way. This is like a smaller film. 7 million domestically. It hasn't had an international release yet. It's comedy. It was very limited theaters. It was playing near me. Guys, I don't have unlimited time here. If I get a chance to see it maybe this weekend, I'll go out and see it. But as I said, we got Asteroid City and the Jennifer Lawrence pick opening up this weekend. So I'll be seeing those 2 for sure this weekend. But The Blackening, 7 million. I didn't really hear that much about it, so we'll just move on. Let's go to the number 1, The Flash. The Flash, 55.1 million domestically. With adjusted numbers here, it says 64 domestically, 75 internationally for 139 million worldwide. Now, the budget for The Flash was being reported in there for, wow, I think it was 200 something, right? 200 million right there. Now, I don't believe that. I believe it was somewhere up to 250 50, and that's without marketing. That's without theater hall. Because I'm saying I would love for the budget to be 200 million, because that means it's still got some time to run out and get some back. So there somebody's reporting at 220 there. I think it's probably even more than that, guys, because this movie was sitting in the can for a while. And what I mean by that is that they shot it, they put it on the shelf, pandemic happened, it got pushed around. And then a whole bunch of stuff with Ezra Miller happened, so it got pushed even more, which those pushes cost in like interest, right? Like, because you're not getting revenue for it, right? It's just sitting there. So I'm guessing that this movie probably has to make somewhere around 600,000 to break even. Sorry, 600 million. 600,000. Yeah, 600 million. And I thought I had the slim hopes that this movie was going to make $1 billion. But I put my review up on the channel. I had lots of fun with this. I really enjoyed it. I like the cameo, 66 by the critics, 85 by the audience there. So people liked it when they came out of the theater. It's just right now we're dealing with a situation where, as fans, we know that the DCU is going to get rebooted here when James Gunn steps in here. And this was supposed to be like a handing off of the torch, because this was going to close out the Snyderverse. And it sort of does. Not so concretely, though. It's like, does it? Does it close out the Snyderverse? We don't know. And that effect of, well, we don't know about the Flash is like, gives people the feeling of, well, should I even go and watch this then if it's not going to mean anything? That could be part of it. The other part is that we've been just so bombarded with mediocre movies as of late, that the good movies that are coming out, like The Flash, like Transformers Rise of the Beasts, that are big blockbusters, people are just like, whoa, I don't know, man, if I want to go out and spend $50, taking my family out to the movie. Well, $50 is just for the tickets, probably. That's not without the popcorn, right? Just for a mediocre fare. Maybe that's like, I'm guessing it's going to be like, it's going to be a culmination of those, a grouping of things. It's not going to be just one single thing that's going to be explaining why people are just not going out in droves. The other thing is that, you know what, Flash, Elemental's going to be on streaming in like 30 days or something, right? The turnaround, the theatrical run window is shrunk so much that people are just like, well, then can I go out and spend $75 taking the family to the movie, or will I wait just a month and see it on Disney Plus? I think I'll just wait for the extra 30 days and watch it on Disney Plus. The studios are really hitting themselves on the hands here when they shrunk that window from, what was it? It was originally like 60 days or something, and then they went to 45 days, and now it's even down to like 30 days for some movies, right? The day-and-day release thing, it totally ruined a lot of people's perceptions of going to the movies, and it's an unfortunate thing, because The Flash deserved better fare, because it did have some heart. I agree that it had some really bad visual effects in it, unforgivable visual effects. I said it in my normal review. I was stunned. I was shocked how awful. Like, that baby sequence is so cringe. I think about it. No, I would. If I saw that, and I'd be like, oh, how much is that going to take to get looking real? Oh, it's going to cost another $5 million and another 3 months for people to finish it. Then we're not doing it. That's it. We're going to have to use this to rewrite a new opening to explain Flash's quick powers and his need for food to recharge himself. That's it. It's off the table. We're not spending that money or time doing that. And that's what the call should have been for that opening sequence in the baby sequence. That's what should have, that's the proper call. I like the opening with like the Snyderverse Justice League still being seen in action. I like that stuff, but I can't explain this other than just the grouping of the multiple factors there that I said contributing to this, because it was cool seeing Michael Keaton back as Batman. It was, and I would say go see it just because of that. But people just, I don't know, it's not word of mouth, it's not getting around. Is there some Ezra Miller backlash there a little bit? Okay, yeah, maybe some, but not enough to drop it down so much, right? Sasha Calle is Supergirl. We're going to talk about it in a little bit too. I thought she was fantastic. She was my favorite part of the film, actually. Second part. It's a couple of the cameos near the end were my other favorite, was my number one favorite part, I think. But we went over that in my review. The Flash comes in at number one, guys, this week. Asteroid City and No Hard Feelings, Jennifer Lawrence raunchy rom-com comes out next week. Are either of those films going to make over 25? Let's say Flash drops to 25 million. Can they make more than 25 million? Well, Asteroid City, we just said, opened up huge in a smaller theater. It's possible. Wes Anderson comes out and hits a home run here. I'll see. I guess I'll see. I want to see the Jennifer Lawrence one first. So I'll see No Hard Feelings on Saturday, and then I'll see Asteroid City on Sunday. Can either of them make more than 25 million? I don't know. I think it'll be Asteroid City number one, and then it'll go The Flash. Then I think it'll be Elemental, and then Spider-Man Across. No. Elemental, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and then it'll be No Hard Feelings, the raunchy comedy, R-rated comedy. And then Transformers will drop down to the fifth spot. Unless the blackening opens up in more theaters this week and gets into the fifth spot. That's the way I see. But Flash, opening box office, guys, spread the word of mouth. Go out and say that, yeah, the cameos are worth seeing. It is. Post-credit scene was completely useless. Buffer the Hobbit says Sasha Calle was terrifying. She was a great Supergirl. Yeah, she was. I was like, please just give us the blonde Supergirl. But she won me over. Sasha Calle won me over, and I would love to see more with her. And we'll talk about that in spin-off possibilities a little bit later on as we move through some of the just going through the box office stuff here. Elemental was in number two with 29.5 million, 33.3 domestically, 15 internationally, for a worldwide total of 48.3. I went out and saw this. You guys know I'm not a big kids movie watcher, and I was really, really pleasantly surprised by Elemental. I thought it was great. Now, I was shocked when I looked up the budget for this. $200 million for Elemental. Well, what the heck? It's an animated movie, guys. What are you spending that much money on? Seriously. The voice cast was fantastic, but they marketed this movie awful. It was like the marketing didn't tell you what this movie was about. They were just trying to capitalize on, I guess, what the cuteness of the way things looked for the trailers, and they should have capitalized on the story of the father-daughter stuff, because that was the backbone of the story. 76% by the critics, 92% by the audience. So people liked it. People who went out and saw it liked it, just like The Flash. People who went out and saw that, they liked it. And if people like it, that should be enough to give us some decent box office results. 48 million worldwide on a $200 million budget is not good enough. And it sucks because, as I said, Elemental was good. I had lots of fun with it, and I usually don't say that about kids' movies. Now, the bonus thing for Elemental and The Flash are that next week you only have Asteroid City and the raunchy rom-com coming out, which are more adult audience, right? That's a more adult audience. So, these other movies, The Flash is the big blockbuster. That'll have another week there before Indiana Jones 5 comes out. And then Elemental, between that and Spider-Verse, those are the other two kid-friendly movies. Little Mermaid's still out there. I'll tell you this, out of Elemental and Little Mermaid, I would see, as much as I like Little Mermaid, I would still have to see, I'd tell you Elemental is the better kids film. It is. I just really, I was enchanted. And I usually don't say that about kids' movies. It's just like, okay. Um, but Spider-Verse is still hanging in there. But the thing about Spider-Verse 2, again, let's pull up the Spider-Verse numbers. People love that film. And it's uh, 494 million. Well, that's a little bit better. It's starting to pick up a little bit more steam internationally. Um, but it's like, what, in its third week now? Yeah, third week. So it's not going to be bumping up that much more. Um, Again, I thought Spider Verse was a potential $1 billion movie. It's not going to make $1 billion, guys. Maybe 700 million at the most. It'll tap out at. Uh, Flash was potentially $1 billion movie. That's not going to make $1 billion for the summer here, and it's not shaping up any more better for Indiana Jones 5. I think the next big one that has got potential is uh, Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. And I really have the highest hopes for that one because I'm going to another city to get it in the IMAX theater to see those big stunts. That's how much I want to promote that one. And Elemental, I was hoping that one would be just, it's a fun, charming movie, guys. Totally worth seeing. Um, None of these are big $1 billion films. They're not going to be. And The Blackening, maybe. I don't know. Well, we know that the Wes Anderson movie is not going to be $1 billion. It's going to be, I guess, okay, maybe, box office wise. But we'll take a look at that next week when it comes out. What do you guys think about some of these results? Are they jarring to you? Are you a little dismayed, like I am, that people are coming out of these movies, like Flash and Elemental, and they're saying that it was pretty good. You know, it wasn't awful, but the box office numbers are not reflecting that. People aren't going out to see these movies for some reason, despite people like me saying that, they've got some value in there. It's totally worth checking out. It's kind of a bummer, man. What do you guys think? What do you guys have as theories as to why these movies are really underperforming? It's a bummer. It's a true bummer because we're out of the pandemic now. That can't be used as an excuse. Maybe people are just burned too many times by bad movies. And is it possible that there's still fallout from phase 4 of the MCU? Where it's kind of like, lots of people's reactions were like, what is this? Right? So, and I would say this, as much as people say that Spider-Verse proves that there's no comic book fatigue, well, as we looked at the Spider-Verse numbers, remember, as I said, that was supposed to be like a potential $1 billion movie. And it's not. And and everybody came out of Spider-Verse saying that's fantastic. I think there's no denying, without a doubt, superhero fatigue is real, and I don't think that anybody should be telling you that it's not. Trying to show you a showcase of one movie out there that says that it's not real. Well, I think it's pretty clear that it is. And we're just going to have to roll with the punches. Yes, there are still going to be those ones, the few diamonds in the rough that'll come along that people will say, well, that's the big one, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, that proves that there's no comic book fatigue. No, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had a very particular set of circumstances, understanding that was going to be the last time that team was going to be together. But take a big whiff, man, because I think we are slowly coming into the sunset here for comic book movies. At least for a while. That's what I feel. There's still going to be good ones like the Batman with Robert Pattinson, Joker 2, because it's not exclusive just to the MCU. It's the DCU that we're seeing too here with like the Flash, right? So it's just kind of like, that's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. All right, guys, Secret Invasion opens up this week on Disney Plus on Wednesday. And we will be doing full live watch-alongs here. So let's talk about it. What's up with the Secret Invasion Rotten Tomatoes scores? So some people have already seen a couple of the first 2 episodes. I want to watch it because of Samuel L. Jackson. He always is great to watch. It's got Emilia Clarke. If you don't know, Daenerys, my queen. Even if she went crazy, she's still my queen. I don't care. That's why I'm going to be watching this, guys, on Wednesdays. Now, the episodes are being reported to be like 45 minutes long, so that will take up our Wednesday slot in the morning. So I wanted to do movie news. If we do movie news on Wednesday mornings, it'll have to be a shorter 30-minute episode that'll be like at 10 o'clock in the morning, so that we can do Secret Invasion at 11 o'clock. But apparently it's been not performing all that well. 66 by the critics on Tomato Meter. I wouldn't say that's alarming. That doesn't mean that we should be going. I'm still curious to check it out, and that's going to be on the channel. So let's see. Let's talk about what you can see here on the channel. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to be doing our Black Widow watch along that I've been touting for a long time. We're finally going to sit down and watch Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow movie and hopefully you guys will come and join us with that. I'm a big Scarlett Johansson fan. She'll be in Asteroid City later this week that we'll be watching as well. So we'll have some MCU, and maybe I'll look at it with the perspective of, maybe this is the decline of the MCU, right? With movies like this. I don't know. We'll watch it tomorrow. My Extraction 2 full watch along is up on the channel right now. And my review will be up later. My review for Elemental and The Flash are up right now on the channel. Go check those out. I put in the spots there for like when spoilers come on and stuff for The Flash. And then Friday, guys, the new poll up is for the Grumpy Man Reacts poll. So that's on the community tab. You can go over and find Finding Nemo, Iron Giant, or Turning Red to pick from. And that is up on the channel right now. I think it's already got some votes in there. 5 votes. Finding Nemo is still at 100%. So I just put that up yesterday. I was going to do Grumpy Man on Tuesday, but it was kind of like, that's not going to give you guys a lot of time to vote. So we'll be promoting this throughout the entire week for people to go vote. I've already prepped all of my materials. So that's for tomorrow. That's Restriction 2, and that's FUBAR. Sorry. So I've already prepped all my side materials here. So whichever one wins, we will roll with punches, and the poll will be open all the way up until Friday morning, right at I guess 9 o'clock in the morning is when I'll close out that poll and just pick the winner. But there'll be lots of time in the week for you guys to go over and vote for the watch along for Grumpy Man Reacts. And that's picked by you guys. You guys all suggested all those ones. So we'll be taking a look at those. By all means, go vote in that. And that's what you can find here on Mirror Domains. And then, as I said, on the Wednesday there, we will be watching Secret Invasion at 11 a.m. So come join us for that. I think it drops on Tuesday night, right? Yeah. If I got my math right. If for some reason it drops on Wednesday nights, then we'll move Secret Invasion to Thursday, and then we'll do movie news on Wednesday. So that's what I meant by tentative schedule. I wasn't quite sure, but I'm pretty sure it drops on Wednesday, on like Tuesday night, like at midnight. So we'll be doing it like that. Lots of fun stuff here on Mirror Domains. Arglass Viking says, poor box office performance is a culmination of bad press, people's decreasing disposable income, plus why pay theaters while people have subscriptions to multiple platforms. Yeah, that's possible too. Like people are paying for Peacock and HBO Max and Netflix and Disney Plus, like Paramount Plus. It's just too much. Netflix, I think, is one of the you must, as a streaming fan or like a movie fan, Netflix has got to be like your number one pick. I also have Disney Plus, and I'm thinking about going back to Amazon Prime here pretty soon, because when certain things like Rings of Power 2 comes out on Amazon, I'll be wanting to watch that again. So that could be a possibility. It's a shame. It's a shame because some of these movies at the box office deserve better chances than what they've gotten. Okay, let's go back to The Flash, because a couple of headlines dropped, and I thought they were worth talking about like the results and stuff. The Flash has 3 endings spanning 3 different studio regimes. So, guys, this is slightly spoilerish. I'm not going to talk about the real Flash ending. Well, actually, I probably will. It's out now, and if you haven't seen it, then you probably don't want to see it. That's what you were saying with the box office. Okay, so according to THR, the original ending called for Michael Keaton to be revealed as Bruce Wayne, with Sasha Calle also appearing as Supergirl. Okay, indicating they both existed in whatever new timeline Alan found himself in. Okay, so the new timeline when he goes into the future, instead of Clooney being there, was going to be Michael Keaton again. And I think I do remember seeing set videos of Michael Keaton with gray hair walking up the steps of the courthouse there. Yeah. Okay. So somehow they survived fighting General Zod in that timeline. But I think I preferred it where Michael Keaton's Batman ended in that timeline. I like that explanation. I like that. And it was cool. It was a good send-off for his character, especially the way that he went out. It was so badass. Very Boromir style, right? With Sasha Calle. Yeah. So there were plans at one point to have Michael Keaton continue on as the Batman in continuing DC universes, right? That Batfleck was not going to go on, so they might as well use Michael Keaton, and that's why Michael Keaton was going to show up in like Batgirl and stuff, right? That was the report, and I do believe that was going to be one of the original endings. When that ending was scrapped, a new version was shot, bringing back Keaton as Batman alongside Calle, this time flanked by Henry Cavill as Superman and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Oh, okay, so is that where the Superman cameo? Like, Henry Cavill did shoot stuff for The Flash, but that got cut. So he was supposed to be in the end. The new, like, Bruce Wayne's Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, and Sasha Calle's Supergirl were supposed to join them in the new timeline. And that's when Wonder Woman 3 was still going to happen too, right? Yeah. Interesting. Interesting stuff, man. I think the Clooney one got thrown in there when they realized that this wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. Interesting, though. It was worth taking a look at, for sure. Okay. Guys, I realized I forgot my coffee. I'll be back in just a quick second. My bad. Yeah. Made a cup of coffee. And I left it out on the counter. It's warm. I was sitting there for 39 minutes. But what do you guys think about that Flash ending? Very interesting stuff, yeah? All right. One of the highlights of the Flash movie that opened up on the weekend was Sasha Calle as Supergirl. She was one of my favorite parts for sure. Sasha Calle considers the film to serve as a jumping off point for more Supergirl stories. Oh, we know that there's going to be a Supergirl movie in the works under the DC universe by James Gunn. They were going to explore that. Now, I was somebody who wanted to see the blonde Supergirl, but after watching The Flash and Sasha Calle, she totally won me over, man. I was like, yeah, if they make a spinoff with her, I'd be totally on board with that. So apparently, she met with studio executives or something to talk about the possibility of more as one of the spinoffs. The Flash serves as a runaway to a bigger story for Kara. It's possible. It's possible, and I would love to see more with her, for sure. It would be nice, really nice. She was with Entertainment Tonight, and I guess in an interview she says, quote, "I love her so much and I feel her very deeply. I think this movie was a runway to a bigger story for her. I just want to dive deeper into Kara and her feelings into her day-to-day. I would just love to see her in regular clothes and human clothes. As a fan, the whole time that I was filming, I was thinking, what would she wear? What glasses would she wear? Well, I don't know about that. Close quote. I just we'll have to see. Um, she was really good. This is a scene from the movie where she demonstrates how strong she is, and she spits at the thing, blowing it up. That was kind of fun. But I guess she's met with the studio executives to talk about the possibility of spin-offs, because we know that James Gunn said that he was going to do one. The Supergirl was going to have its own side project under the new James Gunn universe. So I hope, like, if that was going to be her, a spin-off one, I'd be on board with that. Uh, okay, she talked to Henry Cavill. Well, yeah, we heard that Henry Cavill gave the blessing, but yeah, I hope that she gets a chance to come back, because I I would be on board for that. I would be on board for that. So she said talks with, I think it was Zaslav and Gunn about that, right? About possibly more. The thing is that we just don't know exactly how their plan is going to unfold. We know that there's going to be that spin-off with Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash, is going to be doing the Batman spin-off, The Bold and the Brave, or whatever. And then James Gunn is directing the Superman movie. We don't know. Wonder Woman's like way off, because there's going to be like a TV show with Themyscira that's going to happen before we get to Wonder Woman again. I don't know how that's going to happen. I think James Gunn he's playing with fire, because he's got a good property here. He's got a good entity to play Supergirl, and James Gunn is taking the approach that he wants to establish the fantastical up off the bat, with these weird side projects of kind of like some B team, like sub Suicide Squad team, with like weird monsters and stuff like that, to establish his universe first. It's really bizarre. I understand that he's a sweaty. I understand that, but I don't know if that's going to alienate people from seeing like the bigger Superman and Batman stories that we want to see, right? That's what we want to see. We want to see Wonder Woman. I would love to see a Supergirl spinoff. So what do you guys think? If she got her own spinoff film, is that something that you would want to see? It's something that I would like to see. Yeah, for sure. What was that called? Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow? Is that what it's called? No, there was something about her coming and landing and just learning to fit in with people in society. Something like that. Something Edge. I can't remember what it's called with, but I'll be up for that. Uh, Talking about Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, let's talk about that. Because she was in The Flash. Gal Gadot says she feels empowered to start developing stories after Wonder Woman 3 cancellation. And it sucks. And when she showed up, I was just like, thank you. Thank you for your performance. She's like, the only poster that I have up on my wall is Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. For me, she's just inspirational. She's like perfect casting out there, right? One of the few perfect castings they ever got right. And it's kind of like, it's a bummer. Okay, fine. You don't want to go with Patty Jenkins' script for Wonder Woman 3, James Gunn. But at least then you write another story that will help usher her into the new universe. Why can't you? From my understanding of watching the Flash movie, she's still around in Barry's universe. But she's developing other stories. She's moving on. She's going to be in a new Netflix action movie, Heart of Stone. The trailer dropped for it on the weekend, and I watched it, and I was kind of like, okay, that looks pretty cool. So she says, quote, "To me, starting and developing stories that I'm passionate about is an incredible thing," she told Total Film. "The fact that I don't have to sit still at home and just wait for the next offer is something that makes me feel empowered. I enjoy doing it. It keeps me alive." And too, yeah, exactly. Now that's great. That's great to hear from Gal, because if she's involved with creating the story too, hey, you're an artist, right? That's kudos. I believe that pulling the plug on Patty Jenkins's third Wonder Woman 3 was the right call. Because it was clear after Wonder Woman 2, she didn't have a defined arc for Diana. Like, do you guys have an idea as to what her arc was going to be? Because number 2 was such a retread of the first movie emotionally, right? That should I be the big superhero or not? Do I fall in love with this guy or not? It was kind of like that again, right? It didn't move the needle forward for her. At least I felt like it didn't. But I still liked it because of Gal Gadot's portrayal as Wonder Woman. I thought she was fantastic. But she's going to be in other things. Will she be in a Cleopatra pick that she was supposed to be in a long time ago? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But good to see that she's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. Is there going to be Red Notice 2 or something? I don't know. She's obviously going to be in Fast X Part 2, right? But that's not going to be a big role. It won't be a major role or anything like that. Gal Gadot's so awesome. And I cheered when she showed up in The Flash. I cheered how she showed up in The Flash, too. All right, moving on. Rebel Moon comes out this year, guys, and they have a new feature out on YouTube. And they got a new poster. So there's a featurette looking at the sci-fi epic. Just the behind-the-scenes look that's up on YouTube right now, where we get like the actors talking about the characters, working with Zack Snyder. And we get a few looks as to some of the set work and stuff. It doesn't really show that too much. I just don't want to play it in case, I get a slap on the wrists. But like visually, it looks like it's going to be awesome. It's going to be on Netflix. So let's take a look at that new official poster for Rebel Moon. And there we have it. Netflix, December 22nd. And you can bet 100% because it's going to be 2 parts. Rebel Moon is going to be part 1 and part 2. This part 1 will be this year. Part 2 will be next year. And we'll be doing full watch along for that when it comes out. No doubt about that. No doubt. Because it's got a really awesome cast. Yeah, December 22nd. And there's a featurette. That gets me to the feeling that there's going to be like a full trailer release soon. It's going to have Sophia Boutella in it, right? The synopsis was, Rebel Moon is a Seven Samurai-inspired space epic about a distant galactic colony that comes under threat from the armies of a tyrannical regent named Belisarius. Desperate to survive, they send a young woman, Sophia Boutella, on a mission to find allies that may be able to turn the tide. The film stars a murderer's row of talent alongside Boutella. So it's kind of like she goes out and gets her version of Suicide Squad, of different mercenaries and aliens to fight this tyrannical regent. And the cast includes Charlie Hunnam, Jaimin Hansu, Ed Skrein, Michael Huisman, Duna Bay, Ray Fisher, Carrie Elways, cool. Jenna Malone, Sir Anthony Hopkins, who is the voice of the battle sentient robot Jimmy. Now, Zack Snyder has had success on Netflix before with Army of the Dead, right? New poster? Yeah, there's got to be a full trailer coming out soon. There seems to be ramping it up. And we're in June, coming up to July, 6 months away from it, right? Interesting poster. Nothing that I would put up on my wall, but interesting enough. Sci-fi. It is my bag. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. Talking about Netflix. Guys, I'm not a shill or anything, but it just seems to be the trending topics of the day. FUBAR Season 2 is greenlit. It's official, guys. That's cool. That makes me happy. Arnold Schwarzenegger's FUBAR renewed at Netflix. It will get a second season. That's great. I was not sure about FUBAR with the first 2 episodes. I was kind of like, I liked the first episode, and then it kind of wavered a little bit, where I was like, we're doing a lot of dramatic stuff in here. I don't know if this is going to work, but by the time the 4th and 5th episode ramped in, I was locked in, and I really enjoyed the dramatic pieces to it. Surprisingly, Arnold showed some vulnerability in this, right? And the script, he said the script, they spent lots of time on it, and I think it proved that it worked on the screen, because the team had chemistry. The dad and daughter relationship worked great. Jay Baruchel was in there, yeah, and it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. So it's kind of like, I'm happy because it's worth it. The series premiered on May 25th and became Netflix's most watched show for that week. Since its release, it has amassed 219 million hours of viewing worldwide, according to the streamer's metrics. Yeah, that's good news. I'm happy about that. And we did full live watch-alongs for FUBAR, guys, so that's up on the channel in a playlist for you guys, so you can go enjoy that. Just key it up and match your time frames together with me, and you'll be able to watch along with it. Lots of fun. That's cool. And I'm glad that Arnold's getting that success. I also heard there that his documentary series there that's on Netflix as well is also worth looking at. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Between that and the new season of Black Mirror that I want to try to get to watching, guys, I just don't have that much time in the day. Once we get into the Mondays, Monday to Friday happens like that to me. Like it's like each hour goes by like a minute. It's like I don't got time unless I sleep 4 hours a night. That's the only way that I'll be able to squeeze in all of this stuff. Well, we'll get in there. We'll get it done. You know that we're big Stranger Things fans here on this channel. You know that I am for sure. Stranger Things season 5 is going to have Linda Hamilton joining the cast. That's cool. You know what would have been cool is if Linda Hamilton joins the cast of FUBAR season 2. That would be fun. Maybe she could be like a secret villain or something. That would be awesome. But hey, she's going to be in Stranger Things season 5. But we know that that's being halted right now because of the writer's strike. It was supposed to begin shooting this year, wasn't it? And then it got delayed. Yeah, while delaying strike, the cast was on hand for a Ta-Dum event. And the 80s icon Linda Hamilton is gearing up to join the cast. Well, that's cool. I do like Linda Hamilton. Terminator Dark Fate, I agree with Arnie. The script sucked. There were script problems from day one. Well, probably because it was written by people who... No, I'm not even going to blame the writers for Terminator Dark Fate. I'm going to blame the studio executives who wanted a movie to be repeating the same beats as previous Terminator movies and not involving the stories. I got the impression from Dark Fate and Genesis that it was kind of like, we're going to try to do something new here. And even since Terminator Salvation, I'll say, Mick G was trying to do something different here, but then they got in the mandate from probably the studio executives that said, well, no, it's got to be a robot that kills people. That's got to be the main thing about a Terminator movie, right? Right? No, it's like, no, that's not, it doesn't have to be. But anyway, Linda Hamilton joining Stranger Things season 5. That's cool in my book. Arglass Viking says, I'd like to see, Jamie Lee Curtis for FUBAR season 2. That would be cool. Because we saw Tom Arnold in season 1. As I said, FUBAR was, it really was like a soft sequel to, why am I drawing a blank on that? On the James Cameron movie, True Lies, right? Yeah. Now that would be cool to see Jamie Lee Curtis. And you know what? She would be somebody who would do it, too. She would come back in some capacity to work with Arnold. I think she was one of the bad guys. That she's got... Oh, what did they say in FUBAR? That they had to... when they had to romance somebody. Oh, what was it called? There was a term for it. Maybe if Arnold had to do that to her. Yeah. It wasn't Barbie dolling or whatever. What was it called? Anyway, yeah, there's some opportunities there for sure. Okay, so we're coming down to the end of the show here, guys. Squid Game Season 2. Cast was announced. Talking about Netflix again. Jeez, lots of Netflix stuff. Squid Game Season 2 cast members are revealed. So it's going to return sometime in 2024. We'll be watching along for this. So Season 1, Lee Jong-jae, Lee Byung-hun, and Hee Ha-jun and Gung Ho will be back for more. Netflix revealed at the Tadam event in Netflix. Newcomers also star Im Sewan, K-pop star. Okay. Kang Na-nul, Park Sun-hwan, and Wang Dong-gwen. Okay, so all popular stuff from Korea stuff, right? All right. I wish they would just stop with the North American version of Squid Game. You don't need to, because I don't know how that's going to work culturally. Squid Game works because of the culture that they were trying to represent. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see a new Squid Games. What do you think about that? Just things on the shelf there that are in the works. One final story here that's before we get into the Twitterverse roundup. This is sort of, I didn't have enough for hit or miss, but I do want to talk about this because this sucks. Are you a Baby Rexha fan? She was rushed off stage after getting hit in the head by a phone. Oh my God, guys. Jeez. You know, this is why we can't have nice things. This is why they got, eventually someday they're going to have like the glass sneeze barriers up for performers because stupid fans throw things. And this is not an isolated thing. It's happened ever since like Woodstock, right? People throwing stuff, mud. It's just, I don't understand. People get boozed up and they act stupidly. So there's a Twitter account here that shows her singing and then she gets nailed by it. Yeah. And she's like, wow, I just got hit in the head. Am I okay? And I guess she just lost her step there. And then people, handlers came out and took her off the stage. But that's not acceptable, guys. If you're a fan of hers, why would you want to hurt her? And if you don't like her, why would you pay the hundreds of dollars to go see her if you don't like her? Just to do that. Idiocy. Moronicism. Not acceptable as fandom. I look at that stuff and I shake my head. I don't understand it. Anyway, Baby Rexha, I hope that she's on the mend. Just wish her good health. I hate to see it. It hurts me. Okay. Let's go over to the Twitterverse and we'll round things out today, guys. We got about 3 minutes or so just to scan the pages, see if a new trailer has dropped or something. Well, that's pretty much all the major headlines. In case there isn't, we'll be back later in the week to talk more movie news headlines. But join us tomorrow for the Black Widow watch-along. I'm looking forward to it. Scarlett Johansson, Taskmaster. Take a look at that. I'm talking about Oleg Horienko. Will Poulter will appear in the episode of The Bear Season 2. Okay. I never watched the first season, so I don't know anything about that. M.M. Myers. Don't know anything about that. Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Which artists would you like to see on the soundtrack? Baby Rexha. There you go. Have her be on the soundtrack. Who else? Tay-Tay. Although Taylor's done stuff, but she's going to be busy. You know, the soundtrack for Elemental was really good, too. I really enjoyed the soundtrack for that. New footage for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was shown at Cine Europe. Okay, that's why that's trending. Kevin Harrison Jr. practicing violin for Chevalier. Now streaming on Hulu. Yeah, see, Chevalier was just in theaters, and now it's on Hulu. See, that quick turnaround. Happy birthday to Zoe Saldana. Cool. Colombiana. Is that my favorite work of hers? Although I do like her as Gamora. This was Colombiana, right? I like her in that too. I want to see her do more serious stuff, and she was good as Uhura. Great actress. Happy birthday, Zoe Saldana. Happy birthday, Arsema Thomas. I like that. Look at the costume designing for that. That's impressive. I like that. That's eye-catching for sure. Miss Juneteenth now available on VOD. New look at Ben Kingsley at Deer and Barbie. Is he one of the Kens? Dua Lipa for Mermaid. Oh, she was going to be one of the mermaids, right? Dua Lipa. But John Cena was supposed to be a merman. I thought he would be appearing in this scene. Dua Lipa. All right. Barbie, just around the corner, guys. July 21st, right? Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal spotted in Malta. New poster for Rebel Moon. Yeah, we saw that one. Elemental earned a disappointing $29.5 million. Lowest ever for Pixar. Yeah, that's the angle that most people will be reporting that as a huge disappointment for Pixar, and it sucks. As it's not, it's not. It deserves better. Elemental deserves better. No hard feelings too. First reactions are overwhelmingly positive. Oh, well, I'll be seeing this one first on Saturday, next Saturday. Jennifer Lawrence, rom-com, raunchy rom-com. Jennifer Lawrence tries to take a young man's V card, right? Past lives. All right. It doesn't look like there's a new trailer for anything. Happy birthday to Bailey Bassi. Okay. She was in the Avatar. Michael Cera, Aubrey Plaza. I don't know about that. All right. Yeah. Talking about Flash cameos. All right. That's just taking the wind out of the sails for us. That's okay. We're done in an hour here anyway. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me on today's movie news. Again, as I said, join us tomorrow for the Black Widow watch-along. We're going to have lots of fun with that. I'm going to take it from the perspective of this is kind of like the decline of the MCU era. We'll look at it with a little bit more scrutiny than usual, I suppose. But it's ScarJo, Florence Pugh, David Harbour. Let's have some fun watching Black Widow tomorrow morning. And then, Secret Invasion on Wednesday. So, guys, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains. Enjoy the rest of your day.